Hello everyone, Pelican here. Welcome back to the PTR, where we're taking a look at the other newest rework to hit the Nexus. This is Azmodan, believe it or not, in one of his new skins. On his butt. On his butt down there. Hold on, let's zoom in. We're zooming in, boys. We're going in deep. What am I even looking at right now? Oh, okay. On his butt, it says, hauling ass. Sorry, that zoom took so long. He was reworked from the ground up. We were talking about this a little bit on stream. I think the main reason
My body
is
chrome. My blood is gasoline.
I think the main reason is that Azmodan had good builds for pushing, and Azmodan had good builds for team fighting. The problem, I think, is that there wasn't very much overlap between those two. So, hopefully, this does change that. I thought Globe of Annihilation... Oh, Tide of Sin. Activate to make the next Globe of Annihilation cost no mana and deal 50% more damage. So they did get rid of Black Pool, huh? They did get rid of Black Pool. Interesting. Okay. Well, his Q ability still does the same thing, except with some new stuff added on. Shoot a Globe of Destruction, dealing 171 damage on impact, hitting an enemy hero or killing a minion within 1.5 seconds of being hit by the Globe of Annihilation grants 2 Annihilation stacks. Each stack of Annihilation increases the damage of Globe of Annihilation by 1 up to 400. So, he can't actually stack as high as he used to, based on that description alone. He also no longer has 2 stacks of his W ability baseline, but he does still summon a Demon Warrior that marches forward. They deal 30 damage per attack and 6 damage to nearby enemies. Oh, so they do radiate damage out baseline now, which they didn't do before. You had to pick up a talent for that. His E ability was also changed. It only has a dedicated channel time. So channel a Beam of Death on an enemy, dealing 147 damage per second for 2.5 seconds. If the channel lasts its full duration, deal an additional 294 damage to the target. Azmodan movement speed is reduced by 40% while channeling. But you can still move around, and then it does a big burst of damage at the end. So at level 2, how much damage does that do? 700. That's pretty good. I mean, he did have a laser build before. The issue that I had with the laser build is that if you didn't have an answer for it, it was a disaster. An absolute disaster. Because he could just sit there and kill a single person with no answer to it. So I'm kind of glad it has a duration now. Our trait, I believe, is still the same. Summon a Demon Lieutenant and an allied mercenary minion, or Azmodan Demon. The Lieutenant will cast Demonic Smite every 7 seconds, instantly killing an enemy minion, lasts 20 seconds. So this is global. Use it wherever. The idea is that you're empowering the minion wave that this is in. These are also capable of soaking XP, I believe, if they get the final hit. Oh, those look really cool with the skin. What do the Demon Warriors look like? Oh! So, lots of changes going in already, and we haven't even looked at talents yet. Greed. Increase the time minions will grant Annihilation from 1.5 to 3 seconds. Oh, goodness. After gaining 200 Annihilation stacks, the damage of Globe of Annihilation deals... The damage Globe of Annihilation deals against minions and mercenaries is increased by 20%. So, Greed gives your team a larger window to get stacks. Doubles it. The ideal situation to get stacks on Azmodan in the past was you have a Johanna or a Jaina or a Kael'thas or a Gul'dan, someone that can clear waves really quickly. You have them roaming with you on a map that has 2 very close lanes. So the idea is that Johanna would clump up the lane, you dunk the lane, and then let's say Jaina would cast Blizzard on it. And you would get all those stacks instantly. It just requires a bit more coordination. This lowers that coordination requirement because it gives you an increased time, and it also, we could deal more damage. So at a certain point, it just becomes easier and easier and easier to get stacks. The bonus damage is likely there as a result of not being able to use Black Pool all the time. I assume. Okay. Gluttony increases the number of stacks of Annihilation gained by hitting heroes of the globe from 2 to 3. After gaining 200 Annihilation stacks, each enemy hit by Globe of Annihilation reduces its cooldown by 0.25 seconds, doubled against heroes. Oh! Each enemy hit, so it can hit minions and lower the cooldown as well. Fascinating. So this will get you to higher stacks faster and allow you to dunk more often with Gluttony. Wrath. Basic attacks against heroes under 75% grant 1 stack of Annihilation. What the fuck? After gaining 200 Annihilation, hitting a hero with a Globe of Annihilation increases the damage of Azmodan's next basic attack? By the amount of Annihilation that he has. No fucking way. We're gonna get an auto attack Azmodan build?
Azmodan has an AA build now.
I see that. We just got there. That's insane. Well, if he has an auto attack build, we're gonna need a way to sustain our health. Otherwise, we'll never be able to trade with people. Okay, well, I can't wait to do an auto attack Azmodan video. So, after getting 200 Annihilation, hitting a hero with Globe of Annihilation increases the damage of Azmodan's next basic attack. Okay.
Choose a talent.
So my gut is telling me that Gluttony is going to be the way to go. Especially if you're scaling well, you should not need the... Here, let me get these guys out of the way. If you're scaling well, you should not need the extra damage increase. And that damage increase is not going to help you clear out objectives or anything. Because that's not the purpose of Azmodan. He's all about clearing
Hi,
waves,
Paley.
right? Hey. So, can I complete some quests here? So again, the idea is you would want to dunk more often. So it shouldn't really matter if you have the increased damage. You'd be weakening up a minion wave anyway. We've talked about this when we play Azmodan in the past. You want to get a few auto attacks off on the back line, let your minions hit the front line, and then dunk to clear out the minions. You don't just dunk, right? So you shouldn't need the extra time, and you shouldn't need the extra damage if you're scaling properly. The auto attack build seems interesting, but Gluttony is jumping out to me as the initial go-to. Again, we haven't seen any of the other talents, so that may change. Because it... I mean, look, we got 2 stacks there. Granted, we're at 400 stacks right now, right? So we wouldn't be stacking this well yet. So I guess the scaling of this is actually pretty important. But it allows you to dunk more. Which is important. It's important. Dunking more is good. Okay. Let's reset those. Then level 4. Army of Hell. Summon a demon warrior that spawns an additional demon, but its cooldown is increased by 10 seconds. So you could spawn 2 warriors instead of 1, but you have a longer cooldown. They only last 10 seconds, I assume. So you're going to have a period where you cannot have 2, or you cannot have a warrior out. Whereas with it baseline, you can always have a warrior out because the duration is the same as the cooldown. Hellforged Armor, Demon Warriors, and Lieutenants gain 35 armor and last 4 seconds longer. With this, you could have more than 1 out for a longer period. I guess you have a little bit of a grace window there. Again, not jumping out at me to be super crazy. Neither of these by themselves seem that good. Maybe the additional one?
NFPT, yeah?
I don't know. Battleborn! Asmodean's basic attack reduced the cooldown of Summon Demon Warrior by 0.5 seconds and Demon Lieutenants by 1 second. He really is going to have an auto attack build, isn't he? He really is. Like I said, neither of these are really calling out to me. Maybe with Hellforged armor, they can tank towers longer, but it's not like we're running towers out of ammunition anymore. So the one that I like right out of the gate. Oh shit! This is a 60-second cooldown now. Whoa! I missed that. I missed that. Yeah. Okay, we're going for Battleborn every time then. So Demon Lieutenant's on live right now. When one expires, you can cast another. So yeah, I'm going Battleborn then, boys. Going Battleborn. You're not. I feel like if we play Azmodan the same as we play him on live, you're not going to get a ton of value out of it. But like I said, you got to weaken up your wave first. So there's a few auto attacks you can deal there. Oh, and that's a nice little trick too. If you Lieutenant right after you dunk, then he's going to smite at a minion, and that can get you your kill in time to proc another stack on your Annihilation. Yeah, like I said, none of these really jump out at me, so I guess we'll see. The Art of Chaos. If Globe of Annihilation hits 2 or more heroes, restore 25 mana. If it hits 3 or more heroes, gain an extra 5 Annihilation. Very, 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 very rare to hit 3 people with a dunk. Unless there is a lot of team coordination going into play. And I believe in the Spotlight video, they said that the enemy team's going to be notified earlier that this is coming. So I don't see that really happening too much. Bombardment after casting Globe of Annihilation. Now, the 2, mind you, the 2 could be okay. And the mana return might be nice, because he did run out of mana a lot before. Without proper talents. So that's a guaranteed stack every time. 1 stack every time. Not super useful, but good to know, I guess. After casting Globe of Annihilation, Asmodan's basic attack within the next 3 seconds cleave. Oh, God. And have an additional 2.75 range and can hit 2 additional targets. Hitting heroes with basic attack and powers by bombardment grant 1 Annihilation. Oh, my God. Okay. I guess we're just doing this now. Guess we're just doing auto attack Asmodan now. What the fuck? So, let's read that one more time. After casting Globe of Annihilation, Asmodan's basic attacks within the next 3 seconds have a additional 0.275 range and hit 2 additional targets. Hitting heroes with basic attacks and powered by bombardment grant 1 Annihilation. So, that's an easy way to get some stacks. Holy fuck. And remember, if you go for the level 1, hitting someone under 75% health is also going to be giving you some stacks. Okay, attack damage Azmodan might actually be really good. That might actually be ridiculous. Might actually be ridiculous. It's only heroes though, right? Okay, still only heroes that give us more Annihilation. But the cleave lets you push waves faster too. And that also helps you clean up your minion wave a little bit more. Interesting. Okay, we're going to go Tide of Sin, activate the next Globe of Annihilation, cost no mana, and deal 50% more damage. So we're going to try to treat this as if it was Globe of Annihilation, which it's not. It has 1 charge on a 30-second cooldown, so you cannot use this as much as... Excuse me, Dark Pool. You can't use this as much as Dark Pool. But You don't even have to self-cast it. It's just a buff. Interesting. Interesting. So we're at 56 stacks at level 10, which I imagine is very low compared to what you would actually be at this stage. Most Azmodan players would be at this stage. So we're going to weaken up the backline. 1, 2. Just do a normal dunk. And just with that cleave alone, we'd be able to clear up most of those stacks. Now we can do some of the tricks we've been learning with it, which is weaken up the backline, so 2 attacks each. Drop the general.
Hey, you got paid, Woot.
And we cleared the whole lane within the 1.5 seconds. So the general casts Smite, then we buff our damage. After we've weakened it, we dunk with the auto attacks, and we're able to get stacks really, really easy.
Does the ultimate proc bombardment?
Does the ultimate proc bombardment? All the ultimate does is give you more damage on the globe. So it wouldn't affect the other attacks after at all. There was one more talent, though. Master of Destruction, All Shall Burn's final damage applies to all enemies in the area around the target and grants 2 annihilation per hit. I would like to see what that looks like. Let us see. I'm going to miss Blackpool, though. Meh. I'm not... So we don't have a slow anywhere, right? I just feel like people are going to move out of that. Like, that might look okay in theory. It'll clear minion waves, I guess. Come on, toggle my fucking cooldowns. Like, put it on a backline. And then you could dunk. That's a lot of resources dedicated to just getting a few stacks, though, if you're using it that way. So... it's easy stacks, though. Let's try putting it on... Let's try putting it on a mage minion and see how much damage it actually does. Oh, I canceled it. I don't know, this seems like you're dedicating a lot. And I think I would like Bombardment more. I don't feel like this damage is going to proc often against heroes. Also, at level 11, I kill the I kill the fucking caster minion before the damage can proc. Okay. I mean, it might be all right. Just maybe not for the way I'm trying to play it. I think the only time you're really going to get any value with just that talent alone, it may be augmented later on, but the only time you're really going to get any value with that is versus crowd-controlled heroes already, where Bombardment seems really good by itself. You don't need team setup for it. Okay, moving on to level 13. Choose a talent. Choose a talent. Choose a talent. We have Brutish Vanguard. Demon Warriors gain 25% health and slow nearby enemies by 20%. Okay. Sidea's Kiss. Is that the demon in Act 3? That is kind of looks like a spider, or is a spider. Reduce the channel time of All Shall Burn by 0.5 seconds. If All Shall Burn channel lasts its full duration against a hero, Azmodan is healed. Okay, so that ties in with the other talent a little bit. It makes the effect happen faster, which means you're more likely to actually be able to finish the channel, and it heals you. That could be okay. If these talents were on different tiers, like if you could summon in a slowing demon warrior here, I think that would make it a little bit more appealing, because you could slow an enemy with your W ability and then immediately start the channel with the reduced channel time. I still think it's okay. The being able to heal for your maximum health might be the answer we need for being able to trade with auto attacks consistently. We'll see, I guess. Chain of Command. Demon Lieutenants also grant 25% increased damage to nearby friendly minions, mercenaries, and Azmodan's summoned demons. With this being on such a long cooldown, I don't think that your talents here are going to be as valuable as they used to be. Your lieutenant talents. I don't think those are going to be as good as they used to be. So, maybe we do go for the laser talent at that point. See, I always think of your trait as a way to soak XP without you being there and push the lane without you being there. I don't really think of it as a way to empower Azmodan in any capacity. We already have the cooldown reduction, allowing us to use this relatively more often. So that means they're already kind of going to be doing the job that I want them to be doing. Just baseline, I don't really feel the need to make them much stronger. So I think the laser talent might actually be the way to go. That's a lot of damage. How much damage is that? So we would want to... I mean, boys, that's 2,000 damage without even all of our talents. 3,000 damage. Then we have Total Annihilation at level 16. Globe of Annihilation damages heroes for an additional 3% of their maximum health. Is that good? Yes. That is nowhere near as good as Giant Killer, especially if you don't get the cooldown reduction here. But it's more damage per dunk, right? Oh, then we have 2 laser talents. If all shall burn channels for its full duration, a demon warrior is summoned at the target's location, and all demon warriors deal 100% increased damage for 4 seconds. Okay, that has some interesting implications on our earlier talent choices. That is fucking fascinating. Okay. All right. Okay. Sin's Grasp increases the range of All Shall Burn by 20%. If All Shall Burn channels for its full duration, its cooldown is reduced by 50%. That is really cool for using our E ability specifically for healing as well. So not only does it have increased range, which makes it easier to channel, but we also have the reduced channel time, and it brings its cooldown down to basically nothing. So we're empowering our auto attacks by quite a bit. We're empowering our E by quite a bit. This seems really good for what we've been doing so far. Ah. Interesting. Then the level 20 upgrade for Blackpool. Globe of Annihilation empowered by Tide of Sin also leaves a black pool at their impact location for 5 seconds. Enemies within the pool lose 8 armor per second, up to 15, and take 120 damage per second. So we leave down a damage field? Whoa! Huh. Huh. That's good for team utility. It's not really good for Azmodan. Is it? So that does increase the damage of your auto attacks, but you would want to use those auto attacks right away. You still have a long cooldown on any follow-up damage that you could actually do while the effect is on the ground. So you wouldn't really be benefiting from that increased damage. Oh, I guess your laser does quite a bit, actually. But if you get the... that's kind of clunky, I feel like. If you get the cleaves in from the level 4 or level 7 talent we picked here, if you take the time to actually get that bonus damage in, which you would want to do to get more annihilation stacks, then you don't have enough time to actually deal the bonus critical hit damage from the E ability actually getting its full channel. So maybe channel right away? Okay. So if you... But then again, if you do that, then you're missing out on the extra annihilation stacks. So I guess the optimal way to use that would be to... It seems so counterintuitive. The optimal way to use this, then, would be to Alt, Globe, W, auto attack one time, and then start the channel. Maybe auto attack 2 times. Otherwise, your E wouldn't explode with the bonus damage with the damage increase on it. It just doesn't seem that good. Yeah, let's see what the other ones are. After getting 400 Annihilation, the area of the Globe of Annihilation is increased by 15% and deals 100... Oh, that's good. That's fantastic. Having it hit a wider area also means you may be able to get more value out of Gluttony. It just... You have to get maximum stacks as well. Trample. Activate to charge a short distance, dealing 526 damage and slowing enemies caught in the path by 60% for 1 second. What does that look like? And can we do that and cause stuff to explode at the same time? So, in other words, can we channel and use this at the same time? Nope. That could be a shit ton of damage, though. So it would be like you would want to globe, dunk, trample, and then channel. Boys, that was 12,000 area damage. Let's see what that looks like versus a single target. Did that say 17? $17,000 single target damage? It didn't reset? Okay. I was about to say, that doesn't seem even a little right. Okay, we gave it plenty of time. Okay, it did reset. It's not bad.
Complete quest, boo.
Well, if I complete the... we are level 20, okay. I was gonna say, if we complete the quest, then we kind of skew the results, but... with all these ways of getting stacks, we probably should be close. Alright, I was making sure it reset. So... oh, you stupid ass thing. Can the toggle cooldown thing please work when I press the fucking key? Salty. Reset, please. Okay. Wow. 4,000 damage to a single target on Azmodan. Wow. Huh. kind of like Trample if you're going for a laser setup. We should still take a look at what the other ult has to offer, though.
Choose a talent. Choose a talent.
Demonic Invasion. Raid a small army of demonic grunts down on enemies, dealing 143 damage per impact. Grunts deal 92, and have 1,645 health, and last up to 8 seconds. When grunts die, they explode, dealing 143 damage to nearby enemies.
Choose a talent.
Then at level 20...
Choose a talent.
I'm really underwhelmed by this one. Then at level 20,
Choose a talent.
Azmodan's demons deal 50% increased damage to structures. Extremely underwhelmed with that as well. Especially on a 90-second cooldown. But it'll kill a building real fast. The explosion used to be level 20. Well, let's see how much hero damage it does. That assumes that the target's not running away from that at all. Let's just see if it affects W and trait. Do these count as minions? Because if these count as minions, then the Demon Lieutenant might be worth. You're by minions, mercenaries, and Azmodan summoned. Oh. Oh. Okay. I think I would want to change up the build if I was using this, but... So you bring him out, you general him. Yeah, that's a lot. Let's see how fast we can kill a building with that. It's definitely a lot. Can we get some fucking minions out here, please? Hello? Minions! I think I would change up my build a little bit. So we're pushing, we're pushing, we're pushing. Yeah. We get up here, now we trait, because we want this guy to last for the push. Get the wall down. Ult here. I generaled too soon. Yeah, I used the lieutenant too soon. That's not... I wouldn't say that's super quick. I don't know how I feel about that. It's kind of odd. So I think the build I want to try... I'm kind of at a loss for this one. I think the one that I want to try is Wrath, because it allows you to get Global of Annihilation stacks way easier than anything else. Battleborn, so you can use your trait more often to actually soak XP in other lanes. Otherwise, you wouldn't be able to use it very often at all. I would still say... Bombardment. Again, just for the ease of granting Annihilation. That's what we're going for here. Easy Annihilation stacks. I don't like Demonic Invasion. And I'll admit that that may be a pure bias at this point, because Tide of Sin doesn't seem that incredible. Tide of Sin doesn't seem that good. So this may be a pure bias choice, but I would rather have Tide of Sin and use it every 30 seconds rather than drop Demonic Invasion and watch people just walk away from it. Personally. But again, that may be my prior feelings kind of bleeding into this test a little bit. And I'm a little aware of that. I'm going to say reduce all the channel time. And then the Will of Annihilation deals 3% of a target's maximum health. I don't think that's good enough to justify it all. Like when you take Giant Killer, you take it because you're attacking quickly, and every single hit is reducing that maximum health of the target. Whereas Total Annihilation, you're only getting the benefit of that every 10 seconds, maybe less if you get a cooldown reduction talent in here somewhere. Is there a cooldown reduction talent? Yeah, so maybe Gluttony makes that worth. But I would go for Sin's Grasp. Blackpool is good for team utility, especially if you have a mosh pit or some kind of route you can do. But after getting 400 Annihilation, the area of Globe of Annihilation is increased by 15% and deals 100 additional damage. 400 Annihilation is the maximum stacks. I kind of like Trample, boys. This is the build I'm the most interested in. I think there is an alternative dunking build that'll be good. So the idea is you summon this,
Both
you
these
summon this.
reworks are amazing with Zarya Grav Bomb.
You basically drop everything on one guy, and you could potentially deal 3,500 damage in what feels like an instant. But you're using a lot of cooldowns to actually make that happen. Also, we're doing that without stacks, so it's even higher. But you have to save a lot of stuff in order to make this work, and I don't think this is a very realistic situation. Like you're gonna have stuff out on the map doing other things, or at least you should. But that's a potential for... Should I cancel the channel? What? 4,500 damage right there. But I also feel like if you have that, you're doing something wrong. You should be using your trait more often. You shouldn't just be empowering that thing with your trait. I think alternatively, if you wanted a bit more of a globe-focused build, it's going to take longer to get Annihilation stacks. But Gluttony into whatever you want here, honestly, it doesn't really matter. I think I would still go for Bombardment. Just because the additional stacks when you auto-attack, I think is going to be too valuable. Tide of Sin into, again, this doesn't really matter. Maybe the slow, so they'd be less likely to move out of it. Maximum health, because you are going to be getting cooldown reduction and a wider area hit here. So the cooldown reduction comes into play for minions too. So you'd want to, at least I thought it did. Did it not? Is there a, just, okay. There's a stack stipulation there. So it comes into play for minions too. If you hit heroes, you get more cooldown reduction though. So perfect setting. These guys aren't moving. I'm gonna dunk! And then you can dunk 4 seconds faster without empowering it because you don't have Blackpool. This seems underwhelming without the use of Blackpool and its double charges. Seems very underwhelming. 4k damage to have no escapes and everything on cooldown. I mean, you're right. You're definitely right. If you want to go for a minion build, I would say... Again, I don't think this really matters. I'd probably go for Wrath. Just to get more Annihilation stacks. That seems the one that's jumping out to me the most. You don't really need the extra minion damage once you start getting stacks. That's the main reason I don't think Greed is that good. We would want to summon an additional Demon Warrior, maybe? I don't know about that either. Yeah, let's do summon an additional. Let's make this explode. Demonic Invasion. This is the most important thing, I think. The Chain of Command. And then All Shall Burn channels for the full duration, and Demon Warriors... Okay, if All Shall Burn channels for the full duration, a Demon Warrior is summoned at the target's location, and the Demon Warriors deal 100% increased damage for 4 seconds. If you're looking to just push Demon Warrior buff, channel, the fucking guy smited it. Let's do it again over here. Toggle cooldowns. So, Demon Warrior, buff the Demon Warrior, channel for another Demon Warrior, and then drop this. And then, I mean, that's a pretty fast siege. It might be good versus some compositions, too. That's a really, really, really fucking fast siege. And you could theoretically get more Demon Warriors all the time with your E ability, and the extra cooldown here doesn't really matter as much. That seems okay. Yeah, I'm kind of at a loss. I'm not really gravitating towards any of these, to be totally honest with you. So maybe I'm missing something. The 17 level lead helps. The 17 level lead would help if I was attacking a hero. Building scale the same. Building scale based on time in the game. I'm really upset about the change to his heroic ability. I don't really feel as though Tide of Sin I mean, I understand maybe they had to nerf it to make Demonic Invasion seem more appealing. I don't know, we'll see. Like I said, I wasn't too crazy about anything that I just saw there. Thank you all for watching, though. Appreciate you. We will try out some of these builds in the upcoming days here on the channel. So if you're interested in seeing how the new Gem Rainer plays, if you're interested in seeing how the new Azmodan plays, we will take a look at that. And I will see you guys next time. Thank you.